Hi folks, this is an empty bottle of Bowmore 12-year-old. Now this is what has introduced me to peated whiskies. It's really subtle, it's not very strong peat in it at all, but it did give a lovely taste to it, and I really enjoyed this bottle. And this is a bottle of Kilchoman Bramble liqueur. I bought 3 whiskey liqueurs at Christmas, and this is my favourite of the 3 that I tried. Again, this is a peated whiskey that was used to create this liqueur. So after the bramble taste fades, you're left with this beautiful smokiness that complements it. Absolutely lovely. Neither of them are particularly strong in peat. It's not like having a Lafroig or an Ardbeg or something like that. They're both are quite subtly peated, so that's prompted me to try recreating a peated whiskey with my next attempt. Now originally it was a recipe I found online that was a clone of a very clean Speyside. It was intended to be something like what you'd get from a Glenmorangie. So when I saw that recipe, I thought that's a nice way to head towards the sort of whiskies that I like. And these other 2 peated whiskies have encouraged me to try and add a bit more peat into it. So I've just done 3 batches of 20 litre fermentation, which then go through a stripping run, and I've combined those. Now I'm ready to do a spirit run, combining the 3 stripping runs that I've had into the product. Now the recipe tries to keep a very clean taste. So during the stripping runs we collect the first third of the charge as it comes off, mainly heads and hearts and a little bit of the tails, and then we collect the final part of the tail, about 15th to a 25th of the charge. Then when we're ready to do the stripping run, we create a charge that's 60% comes from these first portion of the stripping runs, so the bits that come from the heads and the hearts and a little bit of tails, and 40% would come from tails. Now there's not enough collected from the stripping runs in the first time you do this to create 40%, so we dilute down the tails until we've got 40% of the volume of the charge. Feints that are collected from the spirit run, we should by then have enough feints collected to have 40% without diluting it down. The whole recipe is set up to try and make as clean a spirit as possible. So that's quite nice. It's not too much oak. There's still some of the funk from the actual distillation. Quite woody. I think it's had enough. But then this one will get watered down at each level. But I don't think there's too much wood in there. I'm not going to take any wood out. I'm just going to dilute that down to the next level. So take it down from 70% ABV to 60% ABV. So that's one jar diluted down with 133 millilitres of water. So we're now down to 60% ABV in this jar. So this jar is at 55% ABV. It's not going to get diluted anymore. I'm just going to taste it and see whether I think I need to take any of the wood out. Dilute it down a little bit so it's not over 50%. Now that's working really well. That's pulling all the sweetness out of the wood, which is what I'd hoped for. It's not too woody. I'm not feeling like there's lots of tannins coming out of that. It's got a lovely sweetness to it. So I'm going to let this continue on with the amount of wood that's in there at the moment, and we'll check again in another month.